Yo, what's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. And you know how we do. Before we get started, go ahead and do your boy solid and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn your post notification bell on so you'll know when your boy is going live or dropping this heat. And don't forget to join the member section, man. Hit that join button, join the member section. Just like this video will be in the member section before it goes live. You'll be able to see it first. So go ahead and do that. Jump in there and let you know what's up. But as y'all know, we've been on this Shilo Sanders bankruptcy shit for a long time. Since it all popped off, since USA Today been covering it, we've been on it for day one. If you ain't caught up, hit the Shilo bankruptcy case playlist and jump on in there. But y'all remember, back a few months ago, when dude asked that question, asked Coach Prime what happened, what's going on, and with Shilo bankruptcy case, and Coach Prime asked dude to do a whole investigation on it, and then come back and tell me what you found out. If you don't remember, we gonna remind you, but we gonna let you see it right here. You know what I'm talking about? Let's check it out.
How is Shilo handling the distraction of his legal situation? And is there anything?
Shiloh's great. What distraction?
The bankruptcy
Shiloh's
proceeding?
good. You know what I want you to do? I want you to do this for me. I want you to do your homework and do a whole investigation. And then right there. I mean a whole complete investigation on what truly happened. Did you know Shiloh won?
Pardon me?
And there you have it. But we're going to get into it because you know what? USA Today has done a whole investigation. Besides the investigation that they were already doing, they have done a whole entire separate investigation and wrote a piece on it. But we're going to find out about it right now. Let's go. Now, like we said, USA Today, our guy, Brett Shortenborg, has done a whole investigation as asked by Coach Prime. So we're going to check it out and see what he come up with. I hope y'all ready because we finna dive all the way into it. As you see, written August the 16th, posted at 7:03 a.m. on yesterday. Brett Shortenbauer. Now, this is the same guy that we've been following through all of the Shilo Sanders bankruptcy case because he is the only source that we have been using during this effort. And as you see, Deion Sanders asked for an investigation of his son's bankruptcy case. Here's what we found. The underwriting says 5 different agencies or institutions looked into the incident that led Deion Sanders' son Shilo into bankruptcy last year. This is what we found. Oh boy, what did we find? In response to a question that last month about his son's ongoing bankruptcy case, Colorado football coach Deion Sanders made a request to USA Today sports reporter who asked him about it. Quote, "I want you to do this for me," the Pro Football Hall of Famer said. "Then I want you to do your homework, do a whole investigation on that. Then write that. I mean, a whole complete investigation on what truly happened." USA Today Sports had already been doing the previously published reports about it and the incident that led to it in 2015. But in response to Sanders urging USA Today to re-examine records and sought out further information from officials who looked into the case involving his son, Shilo, who filed for bankruptcy last October with more than $11 million in debt. As a result, USA Today Sports found that at least 5 agencies or institutions with access to witnesses and evidence in the 2015 case made conclusions about it. Dallas Police, Shilo School, an insurance company, Texas Child Protective Services, and a civil court in Dallas. Hey, he said go do it. They went and done it. What did those agencies and institutions conclude? None of them favor Shilo Sanders, now a standout safety for his father at Colorado. 4 of those 5 inquiries instead favored Jean Dargy, the school's security guard who claimed he suffered permanent and severe spinal and nerve injuries after Shilo allegedly assaulted him in 2015. When Shilo was 15 years old, 9th grader at Focus Academies in Dallas. The other of those 5 investigations initially sided with Shilo, but then obtained information that forced it to reverse its conclusion, instead ruled that fault was unable to be determined. USA Today Sports also solicited further clarification from Shilo's attorney in Texas, but didn't get a response. Hey, you can't do nothing but reach out. If they don't respond, they don't respond. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Below is a summary of how each of the 5 inquiries ended up after Darjean said Shilo threw a roundhouse elbow into his upper torso when Darjean was trying to confiscate his phone at school. Darjean sued Shilo in civil court to recover his injuries and won a default judgment of $11.89 million in 2020-2022, a massive debt for Shilo that led him to file bankruptcy in hopes of eliminating it. Well, hey, gotta do what you gotta do. The case can still be won. You know, it's all depending on the bankruptcy outcome. The bankruptcy case remains pending and still could hinge on that incident in 2015. Sanders has said that Darjean claims are false and portrayed it as a money grab. Shilo Sanders said he acted in self-defense as Darjean assaulted him. Shilo's attorney also questioned whether Darjean's injuries were pre-existing. Y'all like this hoodie? I know y'all do. Anthony Lawrence collection. See you. Y'all make sure y'all go by the Anthony Lawrence collection. Grab you one of these joints. See, this it was kind of chilly when I was out, you know, early in the morning. And you know, so your boy got on a short sleeve hoodie with the CU joint. You figure, deal, man, I'm in Texas. It's gonna be hot, but I was in a real cool place. So it is what it is. And I know I ain't been dropping videos. Your boy been kind of busy. I had one of my drivers have an accident the other day in one of my tractor trailers. So that's a lot to deal with, Texas DOT insurance and all that. So I've been kind of busy. So I ain't been dropping videos, but like one a day. But we finna get back into it. So let's move on. What Dallas police said about Shilo's case. Dallas police provided the information when asked about it by USA Today Sports. On September 17th, 2015, at about 11:55 a.m., Dallas police responded to a call for service in the 2500 block of W. Ledbetter Drive. The preliminary investigation determined a security officer and a teen were in an argument when the teen hit the security officer. Dallas Fire Rescue responded and transported the security officer to a local hospital for further medical treatment. Dallas police said the incident was referred to the grand jury, but there is no public record for any criminal charges or indictment. And that is what is so got me so tickled about this thing. You didn't file no criminal charges, but you want that money though. If you was assaulted and you was injured, you first try to lock somebody up, then you go get the money. You just skipped all that part. You just went for the money. But it is what it is. Here we are. Court records show that a day after the incident, Shilo Sanders was involved in a separate incident at school with another student and was taken that day to the juvenile detention center in Dallas. Court records also show Darjean underwent spinal surgery a few days after the incident. What the school found. Darjean initially was suspended with pay pending the outcome of an internal investigation. 5 days after the incident, the CEO and founder of the school, Leroy McClure, wrote a letter to Darjeeling saying that the suspension was being lifted and Darjeeling was being reinstated effectively immediately. I don't know why that effectively immediately. It should have been reinstated and effective immediately. But video evidence supports your statement and the statement of the nearest employee in the area. The school findings state in the letter, you were trying to take a student's cell phone away from him. You were struck in the upper chest area by the student's elbow. You then attempted to restrain the student against the wall. The student pushed back against you, moving both of you back off the wall. You attempted to restrain the student a second time against the wall and then moved the student to the floor to restrain him. At that point, other employees entered the area to assist. And that's the part that baffles me right there. That initial elbow and that initial blow. Because you know what I know? He tried to walk up on Shilo from the back and snatch his phone out of his hand. That's how you got that elbow. You can't elbow nobody in front of you. He was coming from behind Shilo and tried to take his phone, and you can't walk up behind people and try to do whatever you was trying to do and don't expect no retaliation. You walked up behind that man, tried to snatch his phone. He didn't know you was coming, and all he did was respond in kind, and you caught that elbow. If you wasn't trying to get him, you can read it's right there. Video evidence support your statement and the statement of the nearest employee in the area. The school findings stated in the letter you were trying to take a student's cell phone away from him. You were struck in your upper chest area by the student's elbow. If you were trying to take it from in front of him, he would have punched you. He might not even try to do that because you was in front of him and he saw you coming. But instead, you tried to sneak up behind him and snatch that phone, and you got clocked. That's on you. That's an initial response from any person that you walk up behind. You're going to get elbowed. Bottom line, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't walk up behind somebody, try to grab them, or try to take something from them. And I guarantee you, he tried to grab him and take that phone, and he reached and grabbed. And what you say, Chuck D? Reach and grab and get elbowed. Yeah, that's what happened. He reached and grabbed and got elbowed. But it is what it is. Let's get into it. It's not clear what the video evidence was used to clear Darjeeling. In 2016, TMZ published some security video evidence that only shows a part of the incident. But Darjeeling has said there was video evidence that supports him. Video that was deleted by a computer technician around the same time that Deion Sanders approached the technician to obtain it. The USA Today Sports recently contacted McClure, the school CEO, and asked what the video showed. He said, and they quote, I would have referred you back to the letter I signed back in 2015. McClure said, yes, I did my due diligence in looking at different angles before I signed the letter. I have nothing to add nor delete from the letter. That signed letter stands on its own. I have no idea where the video may be. How come you don't know where the video is? It's your school. You should know where it's at. That video should have been on lock from day one after the incident had. That video should have been taken and put away. Y'all did something. Y'all gonna say Deion did something, but somebody did something. What Texas Child Protection Services found? The Department of Family and Protective Services got involved in this case to determine if Shilo had been abused as a minor at school. On October 30th, 2015, the agency initially found that there was a reason to believe that abuse or neglect had occurred against Shilo in this case, based upon preponderance of the evidence. In February, Shilo Sanders' attorney in the bankruptcy court even used this initial ruling to try to convince a judge to dismiss Darjeeling's complaint against Sanders there. But the initial ruling was not the final word in the case and was based largely on false information from 2 local school officials who said Darjean was being fired over the incident, according to the court records. McClure, the school CEO, testified in a pretrial deposition afterwards that Darjean never was terminated and that this false information came from 2 officials who had personal conflicts with Darjean and hadn't been authorized to make such determinations. McClure also testified that he considered the 2 school officials to be a liability, and both were let go from the school in 2016. Records obtained by USA Today Sports show that the agency initial ruling then was reversed after 2 additional witnesses' statements were obtained that corroborated Darjean. Oh boy, you still shouldn't have walked up behind that man. And that's the only way you catch that elbow is you walk up behind that kid and try to grab him. As a result, the deposition of the case was changed to unable to be determined. Another odd twist is that Deion Sanders initially told the agency's investigators, Jordan Ham, that he didn't suspect Darjean used excessive force in restraining Shilo and that he thought Darjean handled the situation appropriately, according to the court records. He said so 12 days after the incident in the presence of his attorney, according to Ham. But Deion later disavowed that he said that, saying he didn't witness the incident and couldn't have known, which is true. He wasn't there. How the hell he know? And he got home and Shilo told him, Dad, that man tried to creep up behind me and I hit him with that elbow. What workers' comp insurance found? Employees can file workers' compensation insurance claim when injured on the job to help pay for medical bills and a portion of lost wages. But such claims are not automatically approved for benefits. The insurance company can investigate to make sure the claim is legitimate and also deny a claim if it finds that the injury was caused by an employee's attempt to unlawfully injure another person, according to Texas law. That is not what the insurance company found in Darjean's case. An independent doctor reviewed his medical records and determined that he had compensable injuries, that the company also obtained records from the school about what happened. As a result of the filing of the workers' compensation claim, Utica National Insurance Company paid both medical benefits to or on behalf of John Darjean. An indemnity benefit, said a sworn affidavit from the company's custodian of records from July 2021. Them a lot of words. The affidavit said the company had paid $112,000 in medical benefits at the time, plus a $99,000 indemnity benefits. That's a lot of money. That's 200 grand. 100 grand in bills? No. 112 grand in bills and 99,000 in the bank account. Was it all at one time? Was it paid out over time? It was probably paid out over. That 99,000 indemnity, that was paid out over time. That wasn't all at once. It just added up to $99,000. You know, they just didn't write a $99,000 check and say, here you go, this is what we think you're going to need. But the doctor did note a pre-existing condition with Darjean, who had undergone another surgery before the incident in 2014. But he said the injury was from an incident in 2015 made his physical condition far worse. The incident resulted in cervical myelopathy and cervical cord compression and urine incontinence because there was a spinal tinnitus. What? Damn, you had a lot of stuff done and you was already boogered up and you reached back and got elbowed. Boy, the doctor wrote to the Texas Department of Insurance in 2016. In other words, there was what I would call an aggravation of a pre-existing condition. Yeah, because he reached and grabbed and got elbowed. Word to her. He tried to do what he shouldn't have done. Grab a man from the back. You don't grab nobody from the back. Everybody knows this. You don't grab nobody from the back because that's the first thing you're going to do. That's what I teach my daughters. If a man grabs you from the back, you step on his foot, you elbow up in his nose or in his chest. He won't be able to breathe. You draw that elbow back as hard as you can and hit him with it. I guarantee you they're going to lay down. Ain't no doubt about it because they ain't expecting it, especially when a man grabs a woman because the first thing he do is grab her and lean his head over her shoulder. And the first thing you do is to put that elbow right in their face. He gonna get up off you, I promise you. Now, so while I'm giving y'all this free game, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm talking about. Do your boy solid. We trying to get to 20K. We almost at 16K. I know y'all can get us 16K subscribers, but let's get back into this because this is a long read. But hey, got to give the people what they want. What the Silver Court found. Darjeeling initially sued Shilo and both of his parents in 2016. But by early 2019, both parents had been dropped from the lawsuit, leaving Shilo as the sole remaining defendant in 2019. When he went to college as a freshman at South Carolina, at that point, Shilo had defended himself in the lawsuit for years. He even had filed a counterclaim and testified in pretrial depositions. But then he elected to drop his attorneys in April of 2020 without hiring new ones. Shilo was unwilling or unable to continue funding his defense, according to his attorneys then. Excuse me. Without an attorney to represent him, trial notices were then sent to his email address and his old home address at South Carolina, even though he left there after the 2020 season to transfer to Jackson State. Then when the case finally did go to trial in March 2022, he didn't show up to defend himself, leading to the $11.89 million default judgment against him. The court issued findings of facts and conclusion of law after hearing the evidence in the case. On September 17, 2015, Shilo Sanders did, in fact, cause physical harm and injury to John Darjeeling by assaulting him. The court stated, the court finds that Shilo Sanders' actions were the proximate cause of John Darjeeling's injuries and damage. The court further finds that Shilo Sanders' actions were a sustainable factor in bringing about the physical and mental injuries sustained by John Darjeeling, without which such injuries and damages would not have occurred. No, if he wouldn't have tried to grab that man from behind, he wouldn't have caught that elbow. That's when the injuries would not occur. Trust me, I ain't taking up for Shilo here, but I'm telling you, that's the only way that man got elbowed. He tried to grab that kid from the back and snatched that phone out of his hand. And he caught that bow. And Shilo was just 15 at the time. Yeah, he was strong. He was playing football. But that man should never have tried to jump that man from behind. His initial actions is what caused that response from Shilo. That's the only way you caught that elbow. You don't catch an elbow from coming from the front or from the side. You come from the side, you catch this forearm. You come from the front, you catch some of these. You come from the back, you get this ball. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what happened. I'm telling you. I wasn't there. I don't know. But being the man that I am, in many altercations that I used to get in, that's what happened. I promise you that. The question now is whether the bankruptcy court will take Shilo's side after all the other agencies and institutions did not. If he succeeds this time, the court could essentially erase the judgment of debt and let him start over in relatively minor damage to his bank account. A University of Colorado spokesman said Deion and Shilo Sanders were unable to comment on the bankruptcy case while it remains pending. As y'all know, they ain't going to talk about it. That's why he said you do. You go look at it. The Buffaloes open their second season under Sanders on August 29th versus North Dakota State. Show right, 2 weeks, we getting down. The NDSU game gonna be a good game, and your boy is gonna be in front of TV, as Cam Newton would say. This is me in front of TV, me in front of TV, having a whole lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? But y'all see what it is. Deion asked the man to do it. The man did it. So, hey, it is what it is. I just give you what the people wrote because that's what he asked the man to do. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Y'all don't forget to leave y'all comments down in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button, hit the join button. Because if you'd have been in the member section, you could have seen this video already and you wouldn't have had to wait for it to come public. You could have done what you wanted to do, put your comments in it and enjoyed it. And then say, hey, I already seen it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, and go by Anthony Lawrence Collection. Get you something nice like this. Get you a shirt. Get you another hoodie. He got a bunch of Colorado stuff in there. He got a bunch of HBCU stuff in there too. You know, Southern, Jackson, plenty of all that stuff. Grab you something nice. But anyway, we gonna get out of here, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all have a good day. I'm out. Peace. Holla. You know what I'm talking about?